Carl's Garage New Year's Eve special. Actually, there's nothing really special about this. It's just another day of me fixing cars. Enjoy! I had a really good question the other day. Sway bar links. They're not long enough to fit. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's get up in here. This needs new sway bar links. Sawzawed the old ones out. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Anyways, here's the new replacement sway bar link. And you can see you cannot get a washer and nut on this. These bushings are stiff and not compressed yet. Like, oh, how the heck do I put my washer and nut on? Everything's put on right. They're too short. No, they're not too short. So in order to stack this bushing on there with the washer and the nut, first we have to compress our other 3 bushings that are on there. So we're just gonna take that first blue bushing off and put the washer. It's got that like concave and convex part or whatever. I forget my science words, but put it against the sway bar, put the nut on top. This happens to be a 14 mil. We'll take a 14 mil from the bottom nut of this sway bar link. And we just compressed those bushings right there. Now I'm going to decompress it. You may have thought, oh, I got the wrong sway bar links from the store. No, just needs a little compression. I started drawing the bolt out and I didn't mean to. I wanted to lock in there. Whatevs. When you're putting sway bar links in, see how it's kind of got like more of a cone shape on one end. That's always gonna go to your metal. And we didn't get very far. That didn't really work that good, did it? Let's try it again. With a little bit of jack underneath the control arm. You can see we got lots of stud to work with now that these fresh new bushings are smushed the way they're supposed to be. The trick is to take this nut off and not let the sway bar come back up and decompress everything. That way we have room to add our bushing, washer, nut to the very top. I went ahead and put my crowbar or pry bar between the engine cradle and the sway bar link to keep it down. Now we do a little zip on the bottom, and this would be a lot easier with 2 people, but it's okay. I got my wrench on the nut on top. There we go. Now let's see if we have enough room to put the new bushing on. And I definitely dropped the nut somewhere down there. I gotta move this crowbar out the way, try not to bust my light. We're gonna grab that washer off of there. All right, we compressed those other bushings and we can see we got quite a bit more. We've got 1 thread sticking out now. We need to smush it a little bit more. Or we need to pry down on the sway bar or something to get that first thread to catch for the nut, and then the nut will compress it all together. Got a little pressure on there. I'm gonna spin the stud back up. It fell down a little bit. Just spin it with the impact. Definitely got enough room for the washer. I don't know about the nut. I gotta find where I dropped that nut. This washer is just too thick. I can just barely not get the nut on. This is a very tight one. Usually it doesn't take this much effort. But it's whatever. We'll grab a washer that's much thinner to start our nut, because this washer's taking up so much room. Get that top one compressed, and then we'll put the proper washer on it. Easy. Slap this washer on top. Start our nut. Our nut caught perfect. I had to bring my camera back. It was in the way with that crowbar, whatever. All right, so now we're going to tighten her down same way we did before. We've got to kind of stay away from that tie rod, because as it comes down, it'll hit that tie rod. Now we compress all the bushings together. We got them all on now, just with one thinner washer. There we go. See, we got lots of stud to work with. It's just those bushings. This was a premium Napa kit. I think I tend to run into this a lot with the premium Napa kits. The bushings are very firm and thick. Usually that's a good thing. It's a little cold in the garage. The heater hasn't heated everything up yet. I'll just let it sit like that. Well, it's been like 30 seconds, a minute, whatever. Now it's time to decompress it and put the proper washer on. All right, proper washer. We're gonna face this cone downwards. It kind of cups the blue bushing. That goes there. And of course, whenever you use an impact on a long stud, it's gonna bring it down with it. So it doesn't move down if you just use a wrench on the top nut, but I don't feel like wrenching that much. This should be the final pass. We'll go ahead and get our pry bar back in there. Press down a little bit. Use the impact to draw it completely up. I see a little stud sticking out of that washer now. Hopefully it catches a thread. I'm really good at dropping nuts today. Let's zip it on there. Yep, and she caught just like that. Doing it by myself, putting pressure with my forearm on the bar while putting my thumb on the nut, and it caught like so. So every brand is a little different. I think there's probably, 10, 15 companies that make replacement sway bar links for this. And when you run into these extra thick, firm style and you just don't got enough room, it takes you an extra 5 minutes to put them on, whatever. Is what it is. And we'll go ahead and snug it up with the impact and then final torque by hand. You want to see those bushings just mushroom a little bit. I'll give you a close look, and that'll be your sway bar extra thick bushing tutorial video of the day. See what we got going on here? There's plenty of stud, but those bushings are so fat that you just can't get it on without giving them a little compress first. Like if you want to do like some sort of ratchet strap to get pressure on or clamp or whatever, you do you. There's a couple different ways to skin this cat. I didn't want to leave this video incomplete, so all right, I went to do the other side. Check it out. Now this side, I did the same trick. Washer and a nut, that's all, no bushing. I walked away, played on my phone, played a couple slot machines for about an hour, and see how it stays compressed now, and we got plenty. So if you got the time and you're not in a hurry, you can just walk away, and boom, I lost that nut. I had to find a spare nut in my bin. And there we go. So you don't have to use any of those tricks. Just walk away for an hour. And that's what I was saying earlier is the longer you leave it on, the more they'll keep their form. Do it whichever way you want. If you're in a hurry, whatever. If you got some time, walk away, go have lunch, whatever, come back, it'll stay down for you.